So the last time you saw this craft, it magically flew and crashed. So I think one of these motors is bad, and I'm going to show you how to test that. I know I have done an earlier video and a link is up there for it, but I'm just going to show you an actual real world scenario where I think a motor is fried or an ESC is fried. Let's figure out. Let's go over some of the components that I have here. This is just a set of test leads. It's just got a set of alligator clips on one end, and these are a little bit too big for this application, but it's what I have, and I don't have 3 hands. And for this, you really need 3 hands. So this is just a looped piece of wire, and I've got a positive and negative cable. We're gonna do this props off, so I got a prop tool. And I've got my multimeter here with test leads. And we're gonna set this to AC, and we're gonna go to 20, should be good. That will give us the values we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the props off of these. The other thing that we're gonna need is a drill. So let's get started with that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these props off. And the reason I'm pulling these props off is twofold. Number one, I need to get to the motor shaft. And number two is I'm gonna hook the drill to this, and I might be able to hook the drill directly to the nut, but then I'm gonna have spinning props, and I'm gonna go full speed with the drill, and I don't want to accidentally take a prop strike with a full speed. I know that's definitely not as fast as a quad will spin it, but this drill will spin it probably 1,000 RPMs or better. The other issue is I gotta get right in here, so it's easy to get nicked. So yeah, just pull them off. It's really not a big deal. So you can see it probably takes me longer to explain it than to rip them off. So there's that. So move those guys out of the way. And what we're gonna do is take this guy, turn it on, and I'm gonna take one of my test leads, and I don't think I need both. I'm just gonna take one. So I'm gonna grab the positive test lead, and on the ESC, I can get my focus point here to stay where I want it, right there. Okay, so I'm gonna take my test lead and I'm gonna put it on one of the ESC leads. So I'm just gonna put it on the end lead there, and I wanna make sure that I'm not touching any of the others. I'm gonna take the other side of my test lead and just hook it to the test lead of the meter. Okay, there you go. So next, I'm gonna take my drill, have it on 2, and I'm gonna very gently attach it to the motor shaft. And I'll show you that in a second. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin this motor, and I'm gonna apply this to both of the other leads on this ESC. So at full speed, and we're gonna get a value. So I'm getting 0.59 on the top one and the center one. Now I'm gonna try the bottom one. 0.59. 0.58, that was close enough. So we know those phases check out. Now I'm gonna remove this guy and put this on the bottom lead. And then I'm gonna go and check the top lead and the center lead. So that motor checks out. The motor that I think has issue is this back right one. As you can see, all combinations gave us 0.59. So that's what a good motor looks like. But this is the motor that I think is giving us trouble. I was getting desyncs out of it and whatnot. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna connect this lead to the forwardmost motor wire. And I'm gonna hook up our drill under the motor shaft very gently. Just like that. And then I'm gonna check the center one to the top one. Just try not to hit the other leads in the process. 0.61. 0.63. And now I'm gonna move this guy to the bottom motor lead. And then I'm gonna check it against the top too. I wanna make sure we're right in the middle of this chuck here. There it is. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's a trouble with the motor. I'm gonna go ahead and check these two and go forth from there. It looks like it might be an ESC problem. Alright, so all four motors check out. Basically all I'm doing here is I'm putting this on and going into the chuck. And then just go gently and clip that in place. So then you can spin the motor like that. And what we're trying to do is just make sure that we don't muck up these threads. But surprisingly, all four motors check out. So next, this fight controller has black box, so we're gonna go ahead and check that on the computer. So now that I've bench tested the four motors and they're all outputting the same values, I just wanted to bring this into Betaflight Black Box Explorer just to kind of see exactly what was going on with our gyros and our motors when this thing went down. So inside of this here, I have the quad overlay, I've got the gyro overlay, and I've got the stick overlay. So we're gonna go ahead and follow this, and as you can see along the bottom here, our flight looks fairly normal here. We've got some indication of some serious noise as this goes by. Let's see if I can pause on some of that. Yeah, like over here, we've got a decent amount of noise that should be filtered out. Now, again, I'm not the expert on Black Box Explorer. This is just kind of a preliminary check as to find out what's going on with this quad. So a couple things that I want to look at are just some of these peaks here. And like right now, this is, to me, this is kind of normal. We don't have any one motor doing anything differently than the others. Where I want to really focus my efforts is back here where this thing had crashed. And if we play here, I'd say this is normal. And as you can see here, I dropped throttle. And then, so the quad's acting normal. And then all of a sudden, right here, you can see the motor goes to, what is this, motor 3. Motor goes to near 100, but it doesn't peg out and stay there. So it's kind of a quick tap of the throttle. But if you notice here, our gyro is pegged out, and all I had asked the quad to do was to pitch forward. Over here, you can see my stick command. I went 0 throttle and pitch forward. And that's where the quad starts flipping out. And they give us a nice value here on the motors where you can actually see real time with the graph. The quad is falling to the back left, and this motor went 100%. And then everything was pulled back down here. But by that point, it was too late. Now you can see the quad is trying to compensate. It's giving us full motor here. It's giving us full motor here just to have this thing level out. But our gyro is telling us something different. So what this tells me is I'm getting a lot of interference in the gyro. So what I think is going on with this particular build, and I'm surprised that it didn't do it down here. Well, it kind of does. Over here we see evidence of that. Over here we see evidence, and over here and here. So really what I think is going on is the vibrations that this quad is experiencing is from the flight controller not being able to vibrate. I think what I've done is when I cram this tom plate on top of this particular VTX, I think it isolated the flight controller from moving, and it's introducing vibrations directly into the gyro of this flight controller. So I don't think anything went bad per se. I think the motors are still good. I think the ESC is still good. I just think that we're getting direct vibrations injected into the gyro, and that's what's causing the desync issues. So what I'm gonna do with this quad, I think is of all things, I think I'm gonna change the VTX. I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with a Nano, the TBS Nano. I think it's a Pro 32 Nano. It's a second version Nano. But I really think that's the best course of action, because again here, I'm asking the quad to do nothing, and I'm giving it slight forward left throttle, but as you can see here, the gyro's just going nuts. And again, when the gyro starts kind of straightening out, the motor starts straightening out as well. And then by this point, the quad's flipping like crazy, so the gyros are going to go crazy. But if we head back here, you can see that even with very low motor, I'm getting a lot of gyro activity. And again, that's because, you know, the quad's in this orientation here. But just to see it go wild from next to nothing like this to complete peg on this value here. Let's see if I can get that to stay right there. You know, it's saying that we're at 49 degrees, and we're really not. I mean, there, yeah. That's about 49 degrees. This is saying 440 degrees. So yeah, I think that's the issue. So that's just kind of a peek into the steps that I go through to kind of figure out, when a quad falls out of the sky, what is the ultimate issue with it? Is it the motors that have gone bad? Or is it, in this case, it's something with the gyro? So if you enjoyed this video, click the thumbs up button. And if you haven't done it already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button, because you only get to do it once, and it's fun. I'll catch you later. Peace.